Oh boy. This is going to be a long one. This might be the biggest catch that Ariel Scarcella's got in a while. Ariel Scarcella appeared on Triggernometry, a right-wing propaganda channel with 310,000 subscribers, and she's here to talk about, I shit you not, trans ideology is the new homophobia. The new homophobia. Ariel Scarcella. Good God, am I ready to hear what she has to say. This is an hour and 10 minutes long. I doubt we're going to watch all of it, so there will most definitely be a lot of cutting around and skipping through it to find the interesting pieces to pull apart, okay? But let's get started. Let's enjoy it, and let's just, let's focus on what's important, and that's always having fun.
When was the moment where you thought, I'm not really on board with this train?
When they told me I had a suck dick. Honestly, it was...
It's a little bit too fast. Jesus Christ. Let's turn it down to like 1.5.
When was the moment where you thought, I'm not really on board with this train?
When they told me I had a suck dick. Honestly, it was that simple for me.
Who told you to suck?
So we are in a stage of conservative political engagement where you can just say, the left wants you to be forced to suck penises, and people will just believe it. They will eat it all up. They'll buy it. People will buy this shit, absolutely. They will absolutely buy this shit. There are a significant amount of people here in America right now who believe that trans women want to force them to suck on or fuck on the genitals that they do not like. A significant amount of people in America genuinely believe that, and they see it as a genuine, real threat.
A lot of people claiming to be lesbians.
A lot of people did that. A lot of people claim that. Trust me.
Because they were trans inclusive lesbians. Like, that was like the moment where I was like, okay, this is just homophobia and it's fine. Like, how did we get here? How are these supposed people that are queer?
Trans women wanting to be seen as women is homophobia at its finest. Not the unilateral push by the GOP right now in red states to make being trans or gay or LGBT in any way basically illegal. Not the threats of violent far-right attacks at pride parades and festivals in, during this month, which is, oh, hey, little hummingbird, so cute. We got hummingbirds in California. They're so adorable. I got such a cool view out this window, and there's just a hummingbird eating out of a hummingbird feeder. Oh, he's so cute. He's got such a long little beak. His beak's so long. God, his wings are just a blur. It's so cool that I can just it's so cool. I love hummingbirds. They're so cute. Anyway, listen. What they're trying to do here is obfuscate. This is concern trolling. Now, one side of the unilateral push from the right, which Ariel Scarcella is absolutely a part of, one side of that unilateral push is a push to make it seem as though being trans, being gay, being LGBT of any kind is a sexual lifestyle decision, a philosophy pushed by the left, a decision, a political ideology, not a way that you live, not who you are, not how you're born, but a decision, a political philosophy that you've adopted. It's very, very much the same thing as when they said being gay was a choice. They basically just rebranded the same talking point, and people are buying it again in 2022. No, to be clear, it is no different. Though the other side of the push is from people like Ariel Scarcella, the fake liberal grifters. Now, this has been a thing for a very long time. Sargon of Akkad used to claim he was a classical liberal for many, many years while just peddling far-right propaganda. Ariel Scarcella is doing the same thing. She's claiming that she is a real left-wing person. She's a real egalitarian. She's a lesbian. She cares about gay rights. She is against this real threat of the trans agenda harming gay people. It's not real. The real threat are homophobes. The ones that are out there actively trying to attack the rights and, frankly, the lives and safety of queer people all around America. Like the goddamn stream.
Queer activists. Literally against what homosexuality is.
Hello and welcome to Triggernometry. I'm Francis Foster.
I'm Constantine Kisson.
And this is a show for you if you want honest conversations with fascinating people.
Our brilliant and returning guest is a fellow YouTuber, Ariel Scarcella. Welcome back to Triggernometry.
Well,
Brilliant and fascinating people, chat. Very... All right, let's go. Triggernometry, the place to go for interesting, fascinating conversations. By the way, this channel came out of nowhere and has 300,000 subs, and it's called Triggernometry. Get it? Because triggering the libs? Yeah. People are still getting mad at me when I say we're going back to 2016. I still see comments on Reddit complaining about how often I say we're heading back to 2016. I still see people mad about it.
I mean, well, welcome. Yes. I was going to say, welcome to England. Yeah, thank you for welcoming me.
It's great
First
to have you
time?
here. First time we
Yeah,
meet
yeah.
in person. We interviewed you during one of the lockdowns ages ago.
I think you interviewed me like a month after I came out of the closet as like a non-leftist.
Really?
That's apparently what you said in like 2020. That's like right when I came out as leaving the left.
Right, right.
Really?
So that's
Came out as not a leftist?
that must have been how you found me. That's how everybody else found me.
I think so, yeah. Well, a lot
Yeah.
of people recommended that we speak with you. And we had a conversation, but remote is not the same as in person. So
Right.
just for anyone who didn't catch that interview, who are you? What has been your journey through life? What leads you to be sitting here talking to us?
Oh my God, it's a lot. It's a lot. Let's be real. So I'm like the OG lesbian of YouTube, right? Like I've been doing videos for 12 years.
Uh-huh.
And in the beginning, it was like, it's okay to be gay. Blah, 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 blah. Like that was like back in the day, right? Like 2008.
Oh! Guys, I just remembered something that I have to bring up. I'm so glad I remembered this. I would have been so upset if I'd forgotten it. Someone messaged me like a week and a half ago, maybe, on Discord, telling me that they subscribed to Ariel Scarcella's OnlyFans. And apparently there is no nudity there whatsoever. Apparently, I don't know how much she charges, but apparently, I assume it's a lot. Apparently she's charging people, and like, listen, if you just post lewds and no nudity on like OnlyFans, that's fine. But like, if you advertise it and kind of hint, nudge, nudge that there's probably going to be nudity there, and then there's not, and you're charging people for it, and they have to pay to figure out that it's not the case, that's really scummy. That's really, really scummy. I'm sorry. Listen, I love sex work is work. Sex workers are based on all that, but that is a scummy fucking business practice. You should clarify what the contents of any paid service you're offering is. And I don't really see sex workers do that often, but yeah, it's like the Bella Thorne OnlyFans thing. Yeah, like that. It's usually like when big celebrities decide to make an OnlyFans and hop onto the bandwagon, and then just like, yeah, and OnlyFans with no nudity, Lamau. From what the person told me, it's just like lewds and stuff, and I don't know how much she's charging. It's $10 a month for lewds. Jesus Christ. For what I understand to be no different than the thumbnails of her old videos. Jesus Christ. Grifter through and fucking through.
9, 10, 11.
When it sort of needed to be said a little bit.
Right. We didn't even have gay marriage in the United States, right? So it was actually oppression, right? It was
Right,
actual oppression.
Now everyone's gay.
Now everyone's gay. Now everyone's non-binary. Like, what even is that? So then I started talking about sex ed, and then I was like, okay, I'm just getting sick of these crazy people calling themselves queer, non-binary, when they don't have gender dysphoria, when they're not same-sex attracted, when I know, I could curse on here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know that you're a lesbian, you wouldn't suck a dick. Like, and people are
To be honest,
afraid.
there's a lot of straight women who wouldn't do that.
So the discussion around sexuality and the gatekeeping of it has always been very funny to me, because the existence of the gay community, like the gay community exists for two primary reasons, okay? For one reason, it exists because of simple tribalism, right? Like in a world in which you are a minority, you are likely to kind of clump together in groups with people that are, at least a little more like you, so that you can feel some level of, camaraderie and community. Another big reason is for obviously like hookup culture and stuff like that. Everyone isn't gay. So if you are in an area and you are gay, unless you're in like, I don't know, Palm Springs, where I'm from, or I guess from now, then it's not as much of a gamble. If you go to like a random bar, if you're like a gay guy and you hit on another guy, it's not really that big of a gamble, I imagine. But like, if you're just in a random place, then yeah, having a community is probably pretty effective if you're looking for people to date and people to like hook up with and stuff like that. And not to mention, there's a third aspect I only just thought of, and a big part of that is safety. I mean, how many like communities do you think have helped young LGBT youths who've been like disowned by their parents and don't have a place to stay or anywhere to go. Like, how many mutual aid groups to take care of that do you think exist? Like, I don't know. It's just I don't know. Regardless, though, I think that Ariel Scarcella is a grifter. And also, to be clear, sexuality and like gatekeeping it spits in the face of all of that, by the way. The idea of like forming a community to like, you know, find community, safety, camaraderie, and you know, just being able to meet people and stuff. That the like weird gatekeeping and stuff of people's sexuality spits in the face of all of that. Okay, what Ariel Scarcella is doing is starkly opposed to what the LGBT community stands for, which is inclusion and a broad push for acceptance of people with non-normative, non-normative sexual identities. And I don't think that's not, oh yeah, hegemonic. Thank you. That's the right word. Thank you, Tungsten Wastrel. Very, very good. You're my little thesaurus. Yeah, non-traditional. Very good, Eganized. I think that this hyper focus on the idea that if you're a lesbian, then you're a bigot. Because, okay, I got canceled once a long time ago, back in like 2019, because I said that while I may find some trans women attractive, because I view them as women and I think women are attractive, and if I see a hot girl, I think she's hot, because I do have genital preference, probably would not have sex with a trans woman still, unless they'd have bottom surgery, probably. And I got mega canceled for this. And the sentiment of it was that it was creepy of me to be talking about trans women's genitals. That was the sentiment of it. They really would cancel you over anything back then. It was something. Anyway, so with that said, there are people that are like that on the left and in the space that behave that way, but generally they're viewed as being the most unhinged and ridiculous and unlikable of those on the left. Like, nobody likes those people. Nobody is interested in hanging out with them. They're not really like, they don't have friends. The only friends they have are like other little cancel happy woke scolds they make that they like get together with in GCs. It's not really like a representative of the broader LGBT community, if you ask me.
That's
Enough about
My point being that there's not a significant amount of people harassing people over genital preferences. It happens, and those people are assholes. Tell them to fuck off. But very much like it is not reflective of the black community every time a minority commits a fucking crime. That's literally where we're at this point, by the way. It's literally just every time someone part of a marginalized group commits a crime, it reflects in that entire group whenever the conservative media wants it to. And that is the case here. And that's always been the case. They did this with like the whole SJW thing too as well. The whole concept and stereotype of the SJW, there's probably like 3,000 people in existence that are actually probably not that many. There are not that many like people that are like that. And yet they became one of the biggest stereotypes you can imagine, all because a group of people on the internet were able to convince an entire generation that there's an epidemic of lefty college students with pink hair and piercings that are going to throw trash cans through your window because you're a man.
my marital problems. Anyway.
Oh my god. So, but yeah, like it became such, all the words and all the identities used to mean so many different things than they do now.
Yeah.
And then I started, it's like I reverted back to the old thing. It's okay to be homosexual again. Like that's where I'm at now. And I talk about culture and politics and that stuff. So that's where I'm at now.
No different than it's okay. This is the biggest concern troll I've ever seen. It reminds me of the "it's okay to be white" thing.
Because now you can't be gay anymore. It's transphobic, you know, of course. So.
Oh, is it?
Let's get into that.
Yeah, we can go dive right in.
Let's dive right into that. So what do you mean by that?
What do I mean? What do they mean?
I love the fake interest here.
Okay.
And I mean, pun intended, the days. The days we call them the they-thems.
Right.
It's like you can't be like a straight up lesbian anymore.
Why not?
Because they call you transphobic. If you like, I'm a lesbian. They're like,
it's just outright lying. Just say, oh yeah, you can't be a lesbian anymore. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to be a lesbian anymore. Just not allowed. I assure you, it is not allowed. Okay. I assure you. No, in all seriousness, I can assure you it is allowed. There are a lot of lesbians. I've seen plenty. Although ironically enough, you see way more lesbians shitting on trans women than you see trans women shitting on lesbians. I'm sorry, but like half of the transphobic posts I see on Twitter are from like a super hyper turf account full of lesbian flags in the bio and like femme symbols, like the different like femme symbols, like the like and random bullshit like that. Usually a bunch of random astrology shit, and then some stuff about like you will not force men upon me. And it's like they've literally made their entire online personality and their entire internet persona about being a lesbian who will not buckle to the trans agenda and have sex with trans women. And it's like, fine, don't then. They don't want to fuck you. I assure you they don't. Listen, I'm not in favor of body shaming, but if you saw that gathering of TERFs, of lesbian TERFs that J.K. Rowling was at, let me just say most of trans Twitter did not want to fuck any of those women. And those women genuinely believe that trans women want to fuck them and are at high risk of trying to rape them or something. It is... Jesus Christ. Good Lord. Scurvy convention? Oh my God. We're moving on before this gets... We're flying a little close to the sun.
Like, I only want like vagina. Sorry. Oh, you're transphobic because some trans women have penises and some trans women are women and some trans women are lesbians and you need...
Listen, by the way, it's fine to be into astrology, okay? If it's just like a little cute thing you're into, it's fine. I think it's a little bit cringy, and I will make fun of you for it a little bit, but it's not like... To be clear, I'm not one of those dudes who like shits on women for liking astrology, though it does seem like women really just like astrology a lot, huh?
Need to like, it's like, no, it's not how it works, but...
So you're saying being attracted to the same sex, in your case, the female sex, is considered exclusionary by trans activists?
100%. And a lot of them are here in the UK. Just saying. Just saying. It's like the United States, the UK, and Australia. It's like, and Canada. Bad.
What's the Anglosphere really going mental all at once?
Is Arielle Scarcella trying to claim that the UK is being taken over by the trans agenda? That is hilarious to me. The fucking turf island is too pro-trans for Arielle Scarcella. By the way, Arielle Scarcella wants trans people dead. She does. She does. She may not act like it. She may not say it. None of these people will. But she does.
Oh, it's first world countries.
Yeah.
First world problems, right?
Right.
You don't see people in Africa complaining about like...
If she didn't want trans people dead, she'd actually be complaining about the unilateral led push by the right to fuck over trans people and take away their rights all across this country. She would at least say one or two things about it if she gave a fuck about the lives or safety of trans people and didn't want them dead.
Homosexuality.
Do you reckon this episode's going to be demonetized, mate?
Listen, then it's homophobia.
Yeah.
Homophobia.
So I guess, but being serious for a second, what you're saying is you are now seeing that people like you who who are lesbian, right? You're feeling pressure.
100%. And I get messages every day. Literally every day. People that I date, like it's funny because like when I go on dates and they find out like who I am, whatever, they'll be like, a lot of them will be like, oh, you must have girls up in your DMs flirting with you. I'm like, actually, it's a lot of like gay people that are like, you know, I'm outcasted at my school because I'm like homosexual and I'm not non-binary, not queer, and I'm not, you know, trans.
Oh my God, she's literally describing like a South Park episode. Oh my God. This is going to be an episode of South Park within the next 2 years where like there's a student who like gets bullied and ostracized and made fun of because he's not gay or trans or non-binary. Like she's literally describing the setup for a bad South Park episode. There are kids all around the country who are gay and they're being ostracized because they're not trans or non-binary. It's like, what are you talking about? They're being ostracized because they're gay and society is homophobic. The people that they're falling in with and becoming friends with are the trans and non-binary students, most likely. Now, I can't speak to what she's read in her own DMs. But Arielle Scarcella is a known liar, so I'm calling bullshit.
Identifying and I'm not open to everything. It's like because you're just gay, like
so you're not rainbow enough anymore.
You're not rainbow enough. You can't just be like a basic gay guy or a basic lesbian anymore.
Is it because
you know why though, right?
No, go for it. Why?
Because nobody likes cis straight.
Wasn't this like the metrosexual episode? Oh my God. Oh my God, you're fucking right. South Park already did it. South Park already did it. It's not even a future South Park episode. They already did it. You're right, Super Beast. Literally a South Park episode. Jesus Christ.
Straight white people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Straggit, oppression is real. I'm allowed to say that. I'm straight.
It's like the less let me say this. How do you say it? Okay, so like cis straight white men are at the bottom of the pole. Like they're at the top of the world.
We know.
Yeah.
So, right, they're top of the world, but like in like the gay culture, right? Like or the woke culture, you're at the bottom. Like nobody likes you.
Yeah.
So like then you're like, you could be white, you could be a white cis but gay man,
Right.
and then you can be white cis lesbian.
Yeah.
And then it's like the queers, black trans women at the top.
Right.
It's like we have to praise.
All right, listen, Lonnie isn't like exclusively a lesbian, but she's pan and she's been in lesbian relationships in the past and is like pretty tapped into lesbian culture. So I've talked to her a lot about like what it's like what is it like in all of that. And she, you know, she taught me a lot of cool stuff. She's taught me a lot of really interesting stuff. She taught me about U-Haul lesbians. That was a good one. That was a good meme. But essentially what she told me was that in a lot of like if you go to like a lesbian bar and you are, or like any lesbian community, and you're a bi or pansexual woman, you're bottom of the barrel at like a lesbian bar or like like anything like that. Like the lesbians can be very, very discriminatory towards bi and pan women. It just seems to be a thing. They're not a big fan of it, I guess. I don't know what. I guess it's very much like part of that tendency. Yes, they are. Holy fuck. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a healthy thing. My guess as to why that's the case is because if you're a lesbian, then like you're not even attracted to men, so all you really get from men is like the sexual harassment and all of like the condescension and whatnot. So you basically spend your whole life getting nothing but shit from dudes, and there's literally no return. There's literally no return on it. So you just end up hating dudes, and you end up hating any woman who would even dare like break the sisterhood oath and have sex with a dude, is my like very shattered understanding of what the thought process is. There's this very weird, like almost spiritual, like sisterhood kind of like vibe that starts to form in some of the more like militant and more like exclusive gay like lesbian communities. They see us as people who are experimenting or internalizing homophobia by not just being gay. Okay, interesting. I've seen a lot of that too, yeah. I see people say on Twitter. Part of the idea is that no amount of sex will ever be enough. I imagine those people had abusive dads. Maybe. I mean, that's weird insight to get. It's kind of armchair psychoanalysis, but okay, underplague. Anyway, like, to be clear, it's quite common, and that's something I see a lot of. There's not like this ascending woke. Listen, I'm sorry, but like gay people in real life are not as woke as like the internet would lead you to believe. Okay, like if you go to like a gay bar in real life, there might be Trump supporters there. I was surprised by that. One of the shows for Lonnie's band was at a gay bar, and I went there. There was a guy walking around in assless chaps handing out Jello shots. He handed me 3, and I took them. You better believe they were free. You better believe I took the free Jello shots from the guy in the assless chaps. Absolutely, I did. Absolutely, I did. And they had free Trojan Magnum condoms at the door, and like contraceptive stuff and whatnot. So I grabbed a few free Trojan Magnum condoms, and I took them home for later use. And yeah, it was pretty base. However, there was a guy there who was literally wearing a MAGA hat. There was a guy there at that gay bar who was clearly a gay guy. Do I need to elaborate? And he was just wearing a MAGA hat. And I wanted to like talk to him about like, so you like Trump, huh? But like I didn't end up doing that. I wanted to have a debate with this guy, but it was just loud, and it was like not like a good setting for a debate, believe me. Do they find Trump hot? I don't know. But like, to be clear, like if you're in like actual LGBT like settings out in the real world, like they're definitely like woke, but like let's just be clear, your sexuality doesn't decide your political opinions. That's clearly the case with Arielle Scarcella, and she is drastically over exaggerating how woke these communities are. Listen, Arielle Scarcella should have no issue whatsoever as an exclusively lesbian woman finding plenty of lesbian women who are also exclusively lesbian and think very much like her in the dating scene. If she's having as much of a hard, like every time I watch anything from Arielle Scarcella, I feel like she brings up that she has a hard time dating. She always brings up that she can't find a girlfriend. No girl will stay with her. She can't get a girlfriend. She can't stay in a long-term relationship. And I'm starting to think that maybe she's just kind of a bitch and not really like a good girlfriend. And maybe she just keeps getting like ghosted because, yeah, maybe it's just a skill issue. I think it might just be a skill issue.
It's like, how about we're just all the fucking same?
Yeah.
Like, we're all on the same level. We're all learning about ourselves. We're all different people. Nobody has to hate anybody. Like, they're trying to erase hierarchy and these system of oppressions by creating another system of oppression, hating white people, hating straight people, hating men. It doesn't make any sense. So now you have all these young kids that are cis straight white men or cis straight white women that are claiming all these other identities because they don't want to be on the bottom of the pole, right? They don't want to be hated. So they're like, just kidding. I'm not actually white. I'm Native American. Like,
no, it's because sexy T-girls are stealing all the pussy from her. I will say, it does seem like I don't know. Listen, if I were a lesbian, I feel like trans women would be like pre-op trans women would be like a blessing, right? It'd be like, you're a woman, like clearly, but you have like a built-in strap-on. Don't even have to go to the store and buy one. How much saved money is that by just dating a trans woman? If you're a lesbian, I don't know. She can't get a girlfriend because she's a straight up creep. Listen, Arielle Scarcella seems like the kind of person who would, like, on the very first date, would start bringing up political shit and would start like trying to grill her date on their politics. And I feel like Arielle Scarcella would just call a date off if she found out that a girl she was like talking to was not cool with the anti-trans stuff or was like pro-trans or whatever, because she is very, very militant in her belief that trans women are some kind of predatory man, and it's very fucked up. I couldn't use my built-in strap-on, too much dysphoria to use it directly. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's an issue as well. No, but in all seriousness, that was obviously a joke, and one that probably made many trans women in chat laugh, and many cis people in chat offended for them. Like, in all seriousness, I can understand genital preferences, but like, I don't know how I feel about people that still maintain the iffiness post-op, especially like for trans women, especially. That kind of suggests to me that there might be some ingrained thought process implying that there's they believe there's some essence of manhood that sticks around in like a trans woman, regardless of to what degree they're able to pass that even matters. And that is concerning. That's when I like start to think, okay, well, do you even really see trans women as women at all then? Like, because if now the genital preference thing isn't even a problem. Has anyone debated Arielle Scarcella? She doesn't do debates, I don't think. Her whole thing is just grifting. It would be really bad for her to debate. Oh, you know she's making that much. Look at those shoes. Not a scuff on those white shoes. Look at those. What? Not a scuff. Not even on the bottoms of the shoes is there even a little bit of dirt buildup. She either bought those shoes yesterday or wears them once a year. Or has so many shoes from all the money she makes grifting that she just has tons of them. She's also still pandering to horny teens. Does she still upload the thumbnails where it's like her getting fingered by another girl and it's like, my first time getting fingered, story time? Does she still upload those videos? And the next video is like, the trans women want to push the gay agenda in our youth. Is that what she's still up to? Is that still her gimmick? She just has brand new shoes for her camera appearance. Oh, of course, yeah, that's probably the case. There was one like trans woman shows me her vagina. Amazing. What an amazing video title. We all started out female. Life begins at erection. True.
Elizabeth Warren. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm actually non-binary, so I'm like, I get like oppression points. Now I'm up here. This is what happens. You created a new system of hierarchy. Stupid.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, this is the same talking point that comes straight out of like 2016. This is the same like oppression Olympics meme. They just rebranded it.
They created what they were trying to erase.
It's a really good point. What does queer mean, Ariel?
I don't even know. I literally I'm gay and I don't even know what the word queer means anymore.
Because
the host should push back at all. They're just blandly agreeing with her. This is so boring. Wait, you think the channel called Triggernometry, keyword trigger, you thought this channel was going to push back against the grifting conservative demagogue that they brought on? This is a right-wing propaganda channel. This is just 2 Dave Rubins, basically, instead of 1, like you'd get on the Rubin Report. This is literally just the Rubin Report, but now there's 2 Dave Rubins and they're British.
I think you know.
No, because queer came around in the 50s, and there was a type of there was a genre of theatre and literature called queer theatre, queer literature, which was normally gay men and some gay women talking about their experiences of what it was like to live in that time where.
I know about that because of Ian McKellen, my man.
Your identity and your sexual identity was illegal.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of that literature was about. And it's very interesting and it has real power to it.
Yes.
But what does queer mean now?
I think queer, people use it. What I think it should mean is anyone that's gender dysphoric or anyone that's same-sex attracted. Even though I hate the word, but I would be okay with other people using the word for that purpose.
Okay. In that case, how does that not apply? For one, that's not even an accurate definition. Queer is literally just an umbrella term that shortened, like, listen, I'm sorry, but saying LGBTQ every time, or even just LGBT+, I've come so close to saying BLT so many times, and God knows that there's already enough rumors out there about me eating gay people that I don't need to continue to feed into them. You guys have seen Twitter. But like to you're just hungry. No, but for those that don't know what there's what now. So I made a joke recently where it was like somebody made a tier list of pride flags based on how yummy they look if they were food, and I commented, "This also serves as a cannibal's guide to what sexualities are most delicious. Human taste is stored in the sexuality." And Poon had commented, "Xander Hall when a gay person upsets him," and it's a picture of Hannibal Lecter. Listen, okay? Only Arielle Scarcella, okay? She's on the menu in a video game.
What I think it actually means now, the way people use it, is anything other than cis straight white man or cis straight white woman. Like you color your hair, you're queer. Like you have a nose ring, like a septum piercing, and like a little bit different haircut. You cut your hair on the side, you're queer, even though you like only like
Okay. Do you think, Arielle Scarcella, do you think it's possible that a demographic of people who have sexual and gender identities that fall outside of just the general heteronormative like state of society, do you think it's possible that those same people might tend to also adopt other things that are seen as rebellious and taboo or outside of the norm, such as unusual hair colors, piercing, tattoos, haircuts, clothing, interests such as punk rock and like counterculture shit? Like, this is overwhelmingly like tied into gay culture, because if your entire identity makes you feel like an outsider, then naturally you're going to fall into interests and tendencies and styles that are also typically associated with being an outsider. It doesn't always happen. There's plenty of, like queer people that you would absolutely not associate with that stereotype, but that stereotype exists for a reason, and I think it's a very good explanation for that. Plus, punks and goths fuck. True, yes they do. I've heard that. Heard that is true.
Woman that sleeps with like men.
I think like, to some people who are coming
everyone
to this,
wants to be in this,
I know exactly what I mean. And I think to some people coming to this whole thing for like the first time, or who are like not on the internet, let's say.
They think that we're crazy, right? Like, oh, you're over exaggerating. Yeah. It's like actually.
And I sometimes think that we are over exaggerating, but we did a live show here in London, and one of the bar staff, who was very nice, she was I say she
We don't know what her identity is.
Fuck me. This is difficult. This person I'm talking about was
non-binary.
Non-binary. And when one of our team talked...
I love how much people will like play up how hard it is to just say they, them. Like, if I asked this guy, if me and this guy were walking down the street and I was like, hey, can you order an Uber ride? And he was like, yeah, I'll order us an Uber so we can, like, I'll call us an Uber so we don't have to walk. And we're sitting there for like 10 minutes. So I was like, hey, when's Uber coming? He would respond, they'll be here in 5 minutes. Without a thought, he would say, they'll be here in 5 minutes. If he doesn't know the gender of the person who's driving. He would default to they. It would roll off the tongue. They'll be here in 5 minutes. If I ask, where are they? He'd say, they're 2 blocks away. They're at, I don't know, East and whatever. Like, it's so fucking easy to default to, we use they, them pronouns for singular people all the time when we don't already know what gender the person we're referring to is. It happens all the fucking time. We do it without even realizing it. It all of a sudden becomes this big deal, this big confusing thing where you have to start like people do this like performative, like it, he, she, it, her, what, them, the, it, like they'll start listing a bunch of random pronouns like almost performatively to act as though this person's identity is so much more confusing and so much to ask of you to remember their pronouns being they, them. Like, it's this very weird performative thing I see a lot of transphobes do. Has anyone else ever noticed that? The weird, like, the performative repeating of random pronouns to express some, like, exasperated, like, response to how ridiculous it is to have so many pronouns. Like, you guys have seen that, right? Oh, yeah, 100% yes? Yeah, I've seen it all the fucking time. I'm not even trans and I've seen it. It's my job to see this shit. So, like, I see it all the time. And it's just like, bro, it is as simple as they, them. Like, what? Like, this guy literally describes this non-binary bartender as being very nice and very kind and very cool. And he can't even, like, I don't know if it's performative. I don't know if it's like he legitimately doesn't, like, get it. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty easy to be like, oh yeah, I've used they, them pronouns before in the past. Oh, you just use that for, like, instead of he or she? Oh, okay, yeah, sure. All right. Like, there's a conjugation list. Conjugation, I don't know if that's even the correct term for it, but there's like you can see like they, them. So it's like, if I gave it to them, they are at the store, that's their book. Like, I don't know, like you can just use that instead of he or she. It works. Like, I don't get how it's so confusing for so many people.
Talk to her just as a friendly chat. She basically went, you know, I thought you guys were like these evil bigots, whatever. Then I watched the show and you're cool. And also she said,
well, with some non-binary people go by she pronoun.
Wait, it's a girl. See, they're doing the okay. I'm not even gonna.
It's a girl.
So
I'm sorry.
No,
it was a girl.
Of these pronouns
it was a girl. But
like
look,
Blair said, like they trade them like Pokemon cards. Pronouns. You have one. I have one. This one.
I swear to God.
It's literally just the attack helicopter meme. It's just the same shit over and over again. Listen, I'm not even trans and this shit's fucking annoying. It's the same joke and over and over again. I have to hear it every time. I probably hear these jokes more often than trans people have to. It's so fucking old. Jesus Christ. Come up with some new material.
God, this is so fucking like
it's so stupid.
Right. Anyway, so this was someone who was born female, identified as non-binary.
Right.
And what she said was, look, I've grown up in a society where women are quote unquote disadvantaged and oppressed, right?
Yep.
And this is a way for me to opt out of this category.
I love this. I hear this argument a lot from like kind of, you know Philosophy Tube's old transphobia video? It's older. It's pre-transition. Still a fantastic video, and I do think it's quite good. However, in that video, she talks about your dad. Y-E-R-D-A-D. Your dad. Your dad, right? Like, she basically, your dad is like oh, there's nothing wrong with gay people as long as they don't do it around me. But then, like, and that was him like 10 years ago. But now, like, modern day, he's maybe gotten a little more woke to that, and he's understands that was a little bit insensitive to say, you would hope. But with the trans stuff, well, now that's not really, now he's kind of on the same page there as well, right? That's the your dad phrase, as PhilosophyTube coined it. And I really like it because I think her coining of that applies very well here to this guy. He's making the argument that for women, identifying as non-binary is a way to opt out of the oppression faced by women in our society. That there is an epidemic of women who want to avoid harassment or mistreatment by men by becoming not women and instead either becoming trans men, or this conspiracy usually claims non-binary. The right now, one of the bigger conspiracies is that like young girls are being like in mass turned non-binary by some social contagion. It's the same what's it called, social contagion theory. That's the what's it called, rapid onset gender dysphoria, the same shit that's been debunked for a very long time.
Great.
But that's not true, because you go to the Middle East, you can't opt out of being female.
But in this society, she can, right?
Which is the actual privilege, isn't it?
But this
Isn't that so stupid? And they claim everyone else has privilege. Bitch, go to the Middle East. They'll throw you off the building for being gay. It's
it's definitely getting demonetized, mate.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. I think that last little comment.
Yeah, they opt into the harassment of being trans, or even worse, being non-binary, especially if you're on the internet. If you're non-binary on the internet, you're basically like one of the shining beacons of fucking Gondor, shining out for as many chuds and reactionaries as possible to harass you.
just bleep it
There's
out.
nothing we don't
Bleep
say
it.
on the show, by
fuck
the way.
it. They can demonet-
We don't give a shit if
we-
it's demonetized.
We just find it funny.
We just laugh at YouTube's rules about this because we're trying to have an honest conversation
Yeah.
and you can't.
Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to do. But I guess where I'm going with it is like, I think you're right about the totem pole of different level. Like people just want to be in a different place on that pole.
Yes.
You know, and I think it seems that when you it sounds like something people who are bigots would make up about people who are just identifying as a different gender.
But they're actually doing it. It's not made up. Like, we're not making this up.
Right.
No.
This is an actual thing that's happening. Like, everywhere.
Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
That's first world countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know the thing that actually crystallizes what we're talking about are the flags. Have you seen the flags? This
What?
is beautiful.
Like
So
the
you-
80 different, like I don't even, I'm gay and I can't even, I think I know about.
This is why we gotta find a goddamn flag to settle on so they can stop saying this, okay? We gotta find the single flag, okay? The single flag. And you know what it should be? White. Just a simple white sheet. Because it includes all visible light in the spectrum. It's not what's on the flag. It's what it represents. Think about it. White encompasses the entire spectrum of light. White is surrender. Okay, how about this? White with a single black dot in it. Just so there's black in there too. Like the Japanese flag, emo Japan. Yes, an emo Japanese flag is what we need the new pride flag to be. That's what it needs to be. It's just an asshole.
Welcome to capitalism, my dude.
Brutus Magnuson, thanks for the $5 super chat. Says, what's your quickest go-to definition of women for people with the short attention spans and lack of understanding nuance? I think we settled on yesterday. And a humanoid representing entity associated with the biological sex typically associated with the female sex. Sorry. Yeah, we could have ended it with the typically associated with the female sex. It's hard to like make a definition that doesn't leave out like robot women and stuff. We talked about this yesterday, like Cortana or GLaDOS or whatever. Like Vosh did a segment on that. It's really hard to come up with a definition of woman that doesn't functionally include those examples, because nobody on Earth would argue that we don't essentially see those characters as women, despite them not being, not even being adult human females, if we're being honest. We've probably seen enough of this grifting. We've been at it for almost 50 minutes, and we're only 10 minutes in. Good God. You know me, I'm a pausing Andy. You can never argue that I just sit there and let the video play, can you? I don't steal content, that's for sure. Anyway, listen up. If you enjoyed this segment, please consider leaving a like. It helps my channel out a lot more than you even realize. It isn't just a hollow gesture that tells me you like my content. It makes YouTube push my videos, my channel, my content in general in the algorithm to new people who haven't seen it before, new people who haven't seen my ideas before, potentially new subscribers, new viewers, and whatnot. So please consider hitting the like button. And holy shit, someone already did it. Hell yeah. And of course, if you want to follow my social medias, they're all linked down below. And if you want to see more from me here on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon, turn on all notifications. And of course, if you want to support me more directly, a little bit more substantially, you can do so by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub over on my website, xanderhall.com/live. Or you can do it on my YouTube channel, YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, and of course, Patreon. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.